What's good, YouTube? It's Nas, and we back with another video. I road to 300 subscribers, of course. We're gonna keep going every day, but today's video we're gonna be talking about one of the bad boy Pistons, and we're gonna be talking about Isiah Thomas, and not not this generation's Isiah Thomas, of course. I'm talking about the '80s Isiah Thomas, and he's one of the best point guards to ever play basketball. But let's just get into it. In his first season, in the 1982 season, he averaged 17 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. I mean, not 2 assists, 2 steals per game. And people talk about Isiah, they usually mention his defense and his playmaking and him being one of the first people to show some skill or some flashiness in his crossovers, which it was really one move and go in my opinion when I look back at his highlights. But Isiah was nice nonetheless. He averaged 17 his rookie season. In the 1983 season, he bumped up his totals to 23 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 2.5 steals. Not really doing anything yet. 1984 season, he averaged 21 points, 11 assists, 2.5 steals per game, which is really one of his best seasons. But we all know the Pistons, they weren't winning anything at this moment, and as you can see by Isiah Thomas's comments in The Last Dance, he was talking about how it was the Bird and Magic show, and the Pistons wanted to take that away. They wanted to become a powerhouse of themselves, and we all know what they would eventually become. In the next season, Isiah averaged 21 points, 14 assists, 4.5 rebounds, and two steals per game. And like I said, the playmaking is only going to get better with IT. It's just, man, oh man, bro. It would have took a lot for the 5'9" little Isiah Thomas, which is crazy because he is named after Isiah Thomas. But man, where would y'all rank Isiah? Because in my opinion, he's in my top 5 point guards of all time. But a lot of opinions vary, obviously. But the next season, in the 1986 season, Isiah averaged 21 points, 11 assists, and 3.5 rebounds, with going along with 2 steals per game. Again, stats really staying the same. He was consistent throughout his career. In the 1987 season, Isiah averaged 20.5 points per game, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals a game. This last time averaging above 2 steals. So if that makes sense, he was a better defender when he was younger. Yes, he was still playing hella defense. Don't get me wrong, because we're gonna get into that. But for his height, he was like 6'3", 6'2", right? Yeah, he was like 6'3", 6'2", but obviously the shorter guards have the ability to steal a ball more. So it's whatever you want to call it. In the 1988 season, he averaged 19.5 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, and 3 assists, with 2 steals per game. No, 1.5 steals per game. Sorry, I told you that was his last time averaging 2 steals per game. And this was the season before he would accomplish that championship that his career, or that would eventually cement his career. And in the next season, where he won his championship in the 1989 season, he averaged 18 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 8.5 assists. Sorry, I keep getting confused by reading this shit. 3.5 rebounds and 1.5 steals per game. And the stats are not as high as they were in his early days, I would say, but he played his best basketball when the stats decreased. Yes, he was still an all-star, but him sacrificing and him eventually playing more team-oriented basketball, and it ended up helping the Pistons, obviously, leading them to their first championship. And they beat up on the Bulls, and then they went to the finals and beat the Lakers, I'm pretty sure, that season, or was the next season. And the Pistons would end up going back-to-back, obviously. And in the 1991 season, the stats would decrease again. He averaged 16 points, 9.5 assists, 3 rebounds, and 1.5 steals per game. And the Pistons were just physically imposing their dominance against the other teams, basically. They was exposing their physicality with Rodman, Joe Dumas, I'm pretty sure was on that team, yeah, if I can remember correctly. Bill Laimbeer, who was knocking people out in midair. They're one of the best defensive teams of all time. Yes, they weren't really playing defense. They were taking you out the game. They were fucking you up. But hey, man, that was the NBA at that time. But that would be Isiah's last championship season. And when they lost to the Bulls in the 1992 season, he averaged 18.5 points per game, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, and 1.5 steals per game. And people are not going to remember this season. They're going to remember them losing to the Bulls, obviously, and that whole Pistons team deciding not to shake hands. And in my opinion, that was dumb, because that would eventually cost him a spot on that legendary dream team. So it didn't really affect. Yes, you were mad at the moment because you lost, but the Bulls shook hands with y'all the last 2 seasons when y'all were literally bullying them. So for y'all to lose fair and square and the Bulls to get even better the very next season or 2 seasons later and not shake their hands and say not good game, it's terrible sportsmanship, and we all know it. But some people applaud the Pistons for that. I just think it's fucking stupid. Gotta show people the same courtesy. And it's crazy, they lost when he averaged more points than he did when he won his championships. But in the 1993 season, his last season really being productive, or his season before his last season, he averaged 17.5 points per game, 8.5 assists, 3 rebounds, and 1.5 steals per game. We all know Isiah Thomas is a legend, and it sucks that he's gonna be known he's known as one of the best point guards to ever play the game, yes, but another tarnishment on his legacy is not shaking hands, which is fucking crazy how not showing sportsmanship could be on your legacy. But in Isiah's last season, the 1993-1994 season, he averaged 15 points, 7 assists, 2 rebounds, and 1 steal per game. So he averaged at least a steal per game his whole entire career, which is crazy. Like, that shit, it's a crazy accomplishment. But Isiah's accolades speak for themselves. He won a championship in 1989 and 1990. Oh, I mixed up the years. Fuck. But y'all get to the point. Whatever I said, it applies to 19. Whatever I said in the 1990 season, it applies to the 1989 season, and whatever I said for the 1990 season, it applies for that 1990 season exactly. But he won Finals MVP in 1990. He was an All-Star 12 times throughout his whole entire career. He was an All-Star, actually, except for his last season. He won All-Star Game MVP in 1984 and 1986, All-NBA First Team 1984 through 1986, that 2-year stint. He was the assist leader in 1985, because we know, I told y'all the stats, I shouldn't have to say anything else. But Isiah Thomas in his career racked up 9,061 assists, averaging 9 assists per game. He had his all-time points scored. He scored 18,822 and 1,861 steals. Like I said, he was one of the best guard defenders of all time. And assists, I already said assists. But let me know how y'all feel about Isiah down below. I think he's a top 5 point guard. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If y'all want to see some more, there's a video on the left and the video on the right. Click on them.